Well, hello my little wombats. I thought I'd do a little video here on drawing for wombats, talking about the kinds of tools and materials I like to use. Now, what I want to teach you on is regular, standard 8.5 by 11 copy paper, just blank white paper like you have laying around. I originally started teaching in grade schools and elementary school, and I wanted to make sure I taught things, even though I'm going into perspective with disappearing points and stuff like that, I want to teach things that you can draw on the most readily available paper there is, and that's the classic 8.5 by 11. Pencil wise, I like to use mechanical pencils. They can be pretty cheap like this, or they can be very fancy, but you don't have to sharpen them. But you do have to kind of be a little careful you don't snap your lead. And you gotta sit there, click, 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 click. Regular pencils work just as well. The main thing that I want to tell you about is erasers. I prefer white erasers, like this one. This is a very nice eraser. As you can see, I can demonstrate, draw something. You know how erasers work, you get it. I prefer white because a lot of times the pink ones, you never know what you're going to get. If they're brand new, they might work just fine. If they're old, like this one's a little dried out, I can tell the color's a little darker than usual. Well, let's see what it does here. Okay, awesome. That is 10 times worse than the mark that I made. So, been burned too many times in my life by these pink erasers. Ugh, that now I exclusively go with the white colored ones. And what's even better than the big block, this is great if you have a whole big thing you gotta, like a lot of construction lines you want to get rid of or something, over a whole field. If you want to be more precise, these little clickety clackers are pretty cool. I do like that, and you can carry them along with your pencil and eraser. There's other kinds too. There's this kind. I bought a bunch of these for my grade school students to use while I was teaching. Get back in there. And that way you can be a little more precise. Like sometimes you might have a few different lines and you just want to just take off one little part of it and not take off the whole thing. This one is good when you gotta get rid of a whole lot of lines. Rulers or straight edges, I got this kind because it's clear, and if you're trying to draw something, like you want to draw something right at the point of those two, it's nice because you can see through it and you can see right when you're getting to about that line. You can line that up. What's even better are these kind with a grid on them. Why is that? Because sometimes you want to draw parallel lines. I want to draw a line parallel to that one, and I can see through the ruler, I can see where that line is, and I can draw a nice parallel line. Like these two lines are nice and parallel because I was able to line it up using this grid here. Even if it isn't exactly on the grid, I can still see it, and I can kind of approximate there's an equal distance between the line and here and the line and here. I can do a line. It's not perfectly lined up with the red graduations on here, but it's still parallel. Look at those parallel lines. But this one works just as well. It may be more readily available, so I can see through there. Sometimes you can even use the trick of taking the little tick marks for the inches or millimeters. Let's use the millimeters. See, that gives you a line. If my line lines up with all these little, the ends, these little millimeter marks, then I can get a nice parallel line with that. Or even the far end of the ruler. Maybe I need to make a wider swath. I can line up these millimeter marks with that line, and this one way over here, parallel to that. Obviously, you can use the other edge of the ruler too, or you can guesstimate. You can kind of line up with that one and then kind of backtrack a little bit and keep it about approximately the same, and you can guesstimate a parallel line. Alright, so clear rulers, white erasers, that's what I like, and regular old paper. That's all you need.